Okay, so let's kind of dive into the week ahead. It's for August 18th to August 25th of 2025, and we have a Gemini moon on Monday, which is kind of wonderful if you're very, very chatty or very, very researching. Last week, we had Mercury opposite Pluto, and while that can be great for really deep diving and almost having great study time in a sense, on the other end, it's almost obsessive, and it has this level of sleuthing, like digging through your partner's phone energy. Like, what are you trying to find? And then later that night, it still feels like we're a little unsettled about it on Monday. The moon is going to go on to square Saturn and Neptune, which has been conjunct in Aries for a very long time. At the same time, it goes to square Mars, and so it's just really, really kind of gross. Saturn and Mars are the two most malefic planets in a chart, and the moon is our emotions. So for it to be making a pretty difficult aspect to two of the most hardest things, it just kind of feels like the sense of I'm really uncomfortable with what's going on. There's a level of growing pains. And this Saturn Neptune is opposite Mars, and it's this push and pull. And it really calls you to look at what houses in your chart this is kind of happening in, because those two areas of your life have been burnt the fuck out, to just put it nicely. There's been so much almost like spinning wheels, and the best way that I can try to describe it is you have, those huge trucks, and they'll make them pull a rope in opposite directions to see which truck is stronger, because I guess guys do that. We're the rope. It just feels like we're the rope this week, especially Monday into Tuesday. The moon is going to be moving into its home of Cancer, so although things are very awkward and uncomfortable, there's a sense of oh, okay, it's gonna cool down. And not only that, when the moon steps into Cancer, which is her own house because the moon rules Cancer, little does she know that on the second floor, Venus and Jupiter are hanging out in the bedroom, which is phenomenal, truly phenomenal. But she won't even really come to realize that until Wednesday. So there's this long trip that she's taken, the moon, and she's finally gotten home, and she's just I just want to go unpack my bags. I don't even feel like talking to anyone. And that's really how Tuesday is. It's whew, maybe you found something out, or you were digging for something. You got your answer, girl. You definitely got your answer, because something's eating at you. And then by Tuesday night, it's going to make a trine to Lilith, and so it's the support that you're getting from your allies. Tuesday, Wednesday is a day to be vulnerable and to rely on them for support. This week just feels like relationship issues, and it just feels like you have to just rant to your girls. That's the only way that I can think to explain it. Tuesday night is very you will not believe what this guy did, and then you just have to get it off your chest. So that's pretty prominent into Tuesday. But on Wednesday, that wonderful cosmic couch, because the moon is going to join them, Venus and Jupiter, in the same room pretty much. They're going to be on the same degree. And that's pretty rare in astrology, to have transits and movements and placements like that. So there's all of this breaking apart and all of this sleuthing and all of this digging. It's supported in a way that's okay, it's almost getting rid of the negative shit that you have. Whether that be relationships, or maybe it's just your communications, or the way that you've been thinking or going about your day to day. We really, really need to rely on our girlies, rely on our homies for Wednesday. It's really a wonderful day to be very, very vulnerable, and that's a beautiful thing. So, like we said, that wonderful cosmic couch on Wednesday, things are feeling very healed. We've had a lot of big transformations in our thinking and communicating, and I think it just carries on into the rest of this week, but now it affects our relationships. Mercury's just moved past its opposition with Pluto, and now Venus is moving into that opposition with Pluto, and it's really a call to whatever shit that you found out, whatever you dug up, whatever kind of powwow you had with your girlies, with the people that you know, it gave you some level of insight on how you need to go about and almost rebrand the relationships that you have right now, or the goals that you have and the things that you want to accomplish. Your relationships need to adapt to that drive to support you better for those goals. So this whole month, and we're moving into a new moon too on Thursday and Friday and the weekend, it's really cathartic. And new moons are great because they're a great time to plant seeds, but at the same time they are kind of a window into what we can expect for that moon cycle, for that 30 days. And so I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous for what that new moon's gonna bring us. On Thursday, we're definitely temper. We have some temper. It's like we talk to our allies, we get the story, we know what we want to do now, and it's almost like in trying to resolve the conflict, you just say something and you're like, oh damn, I really didn't mean to say that. I didn't mean for it to come out that way. But we're just so beyond burnt out and on edge from everything that we've been dealing with that these things are just, they're slipping out no matter what. But Thursday feels just like a big argument. It really does. What is overwhelming on Thursday? It's like you know how you want to take action, but the people that are supposed to be supporting you and the relationships that are supposed to be supporting you are really not hitting their mark. And then Friday comes along and tensions are going to carry over. We welcome wonderful Virgo season with a little bit of a mess. I wouldn't really say it's the cutest vibe for my fellow Virgos, but we really have to process a lot of insecurities on Friday, whether it's insecurities with ourselves or with our relationships. And this does not have to be like your man, your girl, whoever. It does not have to be your literal love relationship, but this could even have to do with your friends or your community, or maybe people at work, or maybe people in your home. Just relationships is such a broad term, and there's a lot of things that can fall into that umbrella. So I just don't want people to hear this week ahead and be like, oh my gosh, I have to break up, because that's not the case. It just feels like there's some kind of restructuring of these relationships that needs to happen. This whole vibe of Virgo season is really going to be about restructuring relationships, getting real about what we want to communicate and talk about, and if there's been some big uncovering or unpacking of something, share that with the people that you can support and can support you in return, because it feels very, very heavy. And on Saturday, we have that new moon at around 2 in the morning, and we're all probably going to be asleep. But it's going to be happening in Virgo, and it's really, really important to look at your birth chart and see what house Virgo is in, because that's definitely going to be your key in to kind of know what is coming for the rest of the month. At the same time that we have this new moon in Virgo, it's going to immediately be squaring Uranus. And Uranus is all about stuff that no one can expect, and just breakthroughs and just randomness, sincerely randomness. And when we know Virgo, we think about Virgo. Virgo is, in its worst aspect, controlling. So what are you trying to control about maybe some relationships that you have right now, and the way that you're communicating to work through things in those relationships? And also, are you having maybe a little bit too much perfectionism and wanting everything to be done your way? Because this being square Uranus is pretty much the world saying, babe, it's not in your hands. It's not up to you. You can try to control this and move the chess pieces all you want, but we're gonna do what we want to do. So both Uranus and the moon and sun are gonna be in Mercury ruled signs. And Mercury just went through its opposition with Pluto. So again, huge uncoverings and huge changes and huge rebranding of kind of the way that we've been communicating and putting things out into the world. I just want to bear any kind of moment for anything unexpected that comes around on Saturday, Sunday. And seriously, keep that in mind for the rest of Virgo season, because those little seeds at the beginning of this new moon are really what we can expect to see for the rest of the month, and it feels like some pretty intense relationship changes, so I'm not really looking forward to that.